nor the WBA organization opinion on the matter. In fact, the WBA president stated, "It's the contrary. He feels and he believes, just like everyone else, Gervonta taking a knee was a clear knockdown, and it should have been counted as such."
The World Boxing Association has canceled the rematch between Devon Davis and Lamont Roach after Lamont Roach appealed again. Talks about the rematch are now on hold while the organization reviews the situation and makes a final decision. Until then, the rematch will not happen. A team of 7 boxing officials, including referees, judges, and World Boxing Association executives, has been formed to investigate the matter and make a fair decision. However, both fighters are free to take other fights.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the question right there. I want to unify at 135. Me and Shakur already talked to each other, and if he's available and we can line it up, that's what we're going to do.
Really? Y'all, wait, y'all spoke like this? Yo, let's get this popping.
For sure.
Like
what are you talking about? If he beats Tank, he's fighting Tank again. Obviously, there's a rematch.
We talking about past that. We talking past that because you got to give him the option to tell what he gonna do. So you talk personally to Shakur, no managers, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Personally.
That's automatically a knockdown. These are the rules of boxing. This is like ABCDs at this point. If you confused, then you either really casual or just a fanboy. This is not up for debate. I mean, Gervonta can have an excuse to why he took a knee.
This is the latest update. Even though Lamont Roach recently said in an interview that the rematch would happen in June or July, he had assured his interviewers that talks about an immediate rematch were moving forward. During a podcast, Roach insisted that Willis should not be involved in the next fight. He said, "Hell no, he can't do the next fight. Look at how many times he messed it up. The knee, going to the corner for assistance. I'm not saying he cheated or anything, but the coach wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that. That's a disqualification. He also turned his back on the referee after taking a knee. Usually that means the ref would stop the fight."
Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Roach's request to the New York State Athletic Commission to overturn the fight result was denied. However, both teams had confirmed that an immediate rematch was the next step, with reports suggesting it could happen by the end of June. Roach said, "I'm telling you right now, I've signed and sealed the deal. We're just waiting for the other side, that's all." But things changed quickly when Roach's team pushed for another review. They had hoped the rematch would still happen, but their request accidentally delayed it instead. Before the March 1st fight between Devon "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach, there wasn't much excitement. But now it's all the boxing world is.
You're now officially moving up to 35?
I mean, we gonna see. I mean, so I'm gonna be the champ at both weights.
Right.
And if there's no opportunity to unify at 35, I want to unify at 30.
This all goes back to the controversial 9th round of the fight, where Davis took a knee, went to his corner to have his face wiped with a towel, and then returned to the fight, all without being penalized by referee Steve Willis. The fight ended in a majority draw, which left the door open for a rematch between the two lightweight fighters. After the fight, many fans started saying that Davis, who was the favorite to win, was overrated based on how the fight played out. However, few people can judge this better than Roach, who spent 12 rounds in the ring with him. On the March, for 18th episode of the It Is What It Is podcast, Roach set the record straight on whether he believes Davis is overrated interview. I definitely want people to know that Davis was at his best that night. I'm telling you 100%.
From Lamont.
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? You know, obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, I got walk around with security, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples, like, it's crazy. I can't do the same stuff that I used to do.
The way people see undefeated World Boxing Association lightweight champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has changed a lot since his March 1st fight against Lamont Roach Jr., which ended in a majority draw. Many believe Roach did enough to win and hand Davis his first professional loss. However, when considering that Davis wasn't penalized for taking a knee in the 9th round, something that should have resulted in a 10-8 score for Roach instead of a 10-9 for...
Can't go to the grocery store. I can't go nowhere, bro. Like, I can't do nothing. And it's crazy, like, it's just crazy because I know that that's what this come with if I get to the level that I'm supposed to be. But when it really happened to you, like, you sit back and look at it like, damn, like, this really happened.
Davis came into the fight as a huge favorite. Many believed he was one of the hardest pound-for-pound punchers in boxing and would have no trouble landing a big shot on Roach to end the fight early. But that didn't happen. Now that the fight is over, fans are questioning whether Davis has been overrated and if Roach exposed his weaknesses. Newly crowned World Boxing Organization, WBO, lightweight champion Keyshawn Davis, who has a 13-0 professional record with 9.
Truthfully speaking, it wasn't really hard to focus. I've been an underdog before, obviously not a huge underdog, but when you go back to the Jamel fight, world title fight, I was an underdog. When you go back to the Hector fight, I was an underdog. Very disrespectful underdog, honestly. So now when we get here to the Tank fight, it's just like, all right, here we go again. I feel like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like, it's time to show.
I don't think Tank was exposed, Keyshawn Davis said. I just think Lamont was better than everyone expected. Lamont can really fight. I thought Tank would knock him out, so he proved me wrong. Lamont is better than we gave him credit for, but I don't think Tank was exposed or anything like that. Props to Keyshawn Davis for not piling on Tank like many others in the boxing community have. Many believe that Gervonta "Tank" Davis is no longer the fighter he once was. Oscar De La Hoya even pointed out a drop in his performance. In an interview with Fight Hype TV, De La Hoya discussed undefeated WBC.
That fight that they had was a phenomenal fight. That joint was like one of the fights, I feel like could be one of the fights of the year. Yeah. High level, skill level, 2 boxers in there, but still trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And I understand a fight like that because I fight how they was fighting. I just feel like I do a better job at it.
Okay. La Hoya also took the chance to send a strong message to Davis, saying that if Tank performs the same way he did against Roach, the WBC champion won't give him a moment of peace in the ring. It seems that just one fight has shifted the odds in favor of Shakur Stevenson if a matchup with Davis happens. Right now, Gervonta "Tank" Davis is not at his best. His draw with...
It's number 3 for me. That's how I feel.
Sauce Walker was just here the other day.
Yeah.
I asked him what he thought about the fight. He's a huge boxing fan, you know that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Huge boxing fan. He knows how to box, too. He knows how to throw his hands.
He showed me some videos.
Yeah, he said...
I
want
to see that.
I said, what do you think happened? He said, he said, Roach won convincingly.
Yeah.
He said, he said, I don't care about the knee. He goes, but I'm going to tell you what. If I were Roach, I ain't doing it.
However, before anything else, Tank wants to finalize his rematch against Roach as soon as possible. With a shaky performance against Roach, Gervonta "Tank" Davis received the first blemish on his professional record, settling for a controversial draw on Saturday night at Barclays Center. One judge scored the fight 115-113 for Davis, while the other 2 had it 114-114, resulting in a majority draw. The crowd reported to be 19,250.
Tank or Lamont?
This is my opinion.
Sure.
It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
5th round, both fighters increased their intensity. Davis began landing double left hands, while Roach backed straight out of exchanges. By the 7th round, anyone still doubting Roach's ability to pull off an upset would have been convinced. Roach landed a counter right hand awkwardly on the side of Davis's face as Davis tried to turn away. The shot momentarily wobbled Davis, but Roach remained disciplined, aware that many fighters had been knocked out by Davis while trying to press their advantage. Roach continued to find success in the 8th round as both fighters traded their rear power hands. Roach's...
Was that a good call on the ref? No, if you take a knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes,
After the chaos of the 9th round, Roach kept up smart pressure, landing combinations to the body and head. Meanwhile, Davis mostly relied on single punches. With the fight potentially up for grabs, Roach came out aggressively, throwing combinations, while Davis continued searching for a single big shot. Afterward, Davis showed respect to Roach, whom he had beaten twice as an amateur, but now had to settle for a draw against in the pros. Lamont is a great fighter. He's got the skills, like I said before, and the punching power.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault.
For Gervonta Tank Davis, the fight was a learning experience. He acknowledged Lamont Roach and his team, saying, "Hopefully, we can run it back. In New York. Let's do it again, baby." Roach, who seemed to enjoy proving his doubters wrong, agreed that they have unfinished business. He recognized Davis as a great fighter, but was grateful for the chance to prove himself. All the fake boxing media and fans talking trash. That trash got flipped upside down, Roach said. Even though he didn't officially win,
enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that
no matter what decision the World Boxing Association ultimately makes, the boxing community is eagerly awaiting the rematch between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Boxing professionals and fans understand just how big this fight has become. The first fight, despite not being the most thrilling for some fans, still broke records at Barclays Center. Now, with the 9th round controversy making headlines, the rematch could be even bigger. Lamont Roach's stock has skyrocketed as he became the first man to stop Davis from securing a win in his 31-fight career. That's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, events, and big moments, stay connected with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Until next time, peace.
Right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And
the draw, Davis, 30-0-1, retained his WBA lightweight title, while Roach, 2-125, gained a lot of respect, even though he didn't become a 2-division champion that night. I'm a little disappointed in the decision. I thought, I pulled it out, Roach said. His WBA junior lightweight title wasn't on the line, but he still gave it his all. That's what two skilled fighters do. Go in there and show off their craft. I definitely thought I won, but we can run it back. Davis also believed he had done enough to win, especially in the last 3 rounds. Unfortunately for him, the judges saw it different.
And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think
Davis felt he was landing clean shots and breaking Roach down as the fight went on. However, Roach kept pushing forward, so Davis chose to play it safe and avoid making mistakes. CompuBox stats showed that Roach outworked Davis over the 12-round fight. Roach landed 112 of 400 total punches, while Davis connected on 103 of his 279 attempts. Davis had a slight edge in power punches, landing 93 of 210, compared to Roach's 87 of 252. The most controversial moment of the fight wasn't a punch, but a decision by referee Steve Willis. Just seconds into round 7, Davis took a knee. After a jab from Roach, then
definitely did more. Definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was myself.